Alright, good evening everybody. System Chalk here with the 149th episode. Hang on a second, did I just mess up my upload? No, we're good. We are here with the 149th episode of our first YouTube run through Book of Hours, playing as the artist. And I did put myself into a little bit of a bind as far as leveling up everything that I wanted. So Resurgences and Emergences is, or well, specifically Desires and Dissolutions, but using Resurgences and Emergences is one of the more difficult ones for me to restore. And I have made it even more difficult by taking the Sun's weakness and applying it towards my leveling up of the rights of the roots. However, the plan here is that I'm going to get another Sun's weakness, which I will, that'll be available to me before it replaces this one, because I'm going to be leveling up Transformations and Liberations, and then I will bring back one of my Arab to be able to level up Desires and Dissolutions, and of course to generate the memory if required. So again, it's a little bit of a... I'm putting a few things at risk just by using up the resources I need to level it up, but I'm feeling reasonably secure in the overall plan. So we'll start by getting the Arab back. Tuppence will buy me a hearty meal and a quiet place where I can rest and gather my thoughts. And we'll see what Mrs. Kill has given us. Okay, so I don't really need the storm right now. There it is and can be no tizzer. Mrs. Kill, as every local gossip knows, came from France to marry Mr. Kill, but there's scant trace of the continent in her accent now. So it's important that I keep the consider verb open. Now, the nice to have at the end of the day is Earth Sign, but Earth Sign's going to get used quite a bit to level up right to the root, so I'm not going to feel too bad if I don't keep it. Is this the way to the wood? But perhaps the wood is not a suitable place for a librarian. Okay, the name day riddle, a deceptively intricate riddle that might just teach us who we really are. Gervenius van Loren was notoriously fond of these. So let's commit to the increase. At last, I am something of an authority in this. Okay, another solace, presumably replacing whatever old one we had. And again, if Mrs. Kill doesn't wind up giving us something with Grail or Moon, we have the option of our own intuition. We just read this, so I'll add it to pile 1, 2, 3. Better now. Okay, so I don't mind bringing back an element of the soul for this. We'll make sure it's one that I can earn some money with, so we'll bring the core back. And here we go. The skill is now level 6. Its power aspects have also increased. The oldest hours are the gods from blood who rose from sacrifice. That blood was always spilt on the roots, and the rites of its spilling are still remembered. So I think I'm going to get this in position for 8. Really loves giving me that solace. Again, I have a few options available to me, but right now I'm in a bit of a holding pattern because I would like the option to generate a Grail or Moon memory as soon as possible. And of course, the best ending to the day is if I wind up somehow being able to generate a... you know what? I don't think I'm gonna... No, I've gone and done it. Okay. This is one of the drawbacks with the folding over, is the replacements. Yeah, there's a couple things that I think I can do differently to make the days work out a little bit more efficiently, but the ideal would have been to end with an earth sign and being able to build up a and being able to earn a bit more money. And I do technically still have the option to do that. I'm gonna take a look. We'll see what happens at the end of the 4 seconds. Okay, hindsight. So we'll still talk with her, but I think at this point we'll go... I mean, I still have money, so I think what I'll do in this case is we will get one to read... Durashu Quercum. And then for... intuition. Actually, I think I've read all of these before. What were my other candidates for gossip? I don't actually get that much gossip out of books. Maybe that would be a good one for me to try. I'm trying to remember where I even kept the gossip. So satisfaction, impulse, revelation, foresight, regrets? Yeah. Hindsight, intuition, confounding parables. That would be absolute madness. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I know why I haven't been looking for gossip that much. There's just not that much there. Okay, changed my mind. I am going to go for the... Book of the Centipede it is. I've already mastered this, but I could reread it and perhaps recall a memory. So I'm not getting the money, but that's, that's not a major hardship. Assuming Mrs. Kill doesn't give me the intuition or the gossip, the sun will be down, but I'll have more than the 30 seconds that I need to be able to level things up. And then I think tomorrow I might just clear out the preliminal meter, and then our focus can be on either Rites of the Roots or alternatively it can be on sort of whatever other books I think are accessible to me. Night is fallen, dawn will come soon. Rose back again. In the mid-1860s, when Madame Yi presented an entertainment based, she claimed, on this book. The centipede always found her way into the dark places. When she was punished for it, she reacted badly, in the Mansus as in Maya. The river runs through the sands out of myth and into legend. The painted river runs the other way. One is barred to the centipede now, but she finds ways back in sometimes. So there's the intuition we needed. We'll level this up right away just in case Mrs. Kill winds up giving me something that I want to keep. And here we have Dereshi Quirkum. I have read this a couple times, so I'm going to just leave this aside. That's also just because I'm conscious of wanting to level up the skill and time. There is always more to learn. Boundaries between flesh, pearl, and pleasure are equally contingent. Okay, so in terms of things that I can keep, I've got these four. So it's scale, rose, nectar, and moth that allow me to level up the things that I want. I don't really have, like, none of these give me that. So I think probably I will settle for the storm. Now that night has fallen, I can rest and perhaps dream on the day's doings. So maybe what I can try to do with the with drums and dances, I can see if maybe I can make a Hive's Lament. I do have a little bit more freedom just based on where we are in the season, so but it would be good for me to start maybe clearing out a few of these targets. Okay, the skill is now level 9 as power aspects have also increased. Kind of debatable as to whether or not I want to bring in Mrs. Kill again, but I will do so. And we have a chance to buy a book. So, Oriflamme's established 1776, Sense, Signs, Sciences. Dear librarian, we would like to offer you this opportunity to purchase Key of Night, the deliberations leading to a manifesto of the worms of a scale, as recorded around 1900 in the Bar Vienna in the cellar of the Hotel Ciervo at noon. So that gives me pentiments and precursors, and it gives me 6... it's a 6 scale check. It's also quite inexpensive, so all of these are things I like. Oriflamme's thanks you for your custom. Mrs. Kill's mood always improves when I drop by. Mrs. Kill stands ready to help. You always cheer me up, she says morosely. Okay. So let's think about Inks of Power today. This is going to be for Rose. So one important fact here is I actually only need 4. So I wanted to skip doing this on Monday's episode, but I am going to do this anyway. So Rose and Scale. And part of this is just to see what's realistic to expect from Mrs. Kill on this. So regret isn't the one that I want. Hindsight's the one that I want. Fear? I don't know why I clicked over intuition. Actually, come to think of it, secret thresholds, I think. As a rose. Gossip. Okay. Beguiling Melodies doesn't. Contradiction doesn't have anything I need. Storm doesn't. Salt. Knock. Moon. Winter. doesn't help. Pattern, knock, and forge. I can never remember Solace, right. Earth sign. Savage him. Confounding parable. Okay, so the part that, oh yeah, and I gotta remember Stolen Secrets I think is Knock and Moon. Okay, so the part that gets tricky here is, so I'm taking a look at this list, and of the things that can't be generated by Mrs. Kill, I have... Okay, so technically I need one from Mrs. Kill. So I've got Hindsight, Fear, Earth Sign, Savage Hymn, Intuition, Secret Thresholds, Gossip, and Confounding Parable. I need 4, so in theory... Actually, no, hang on. In theory, I don't need any from Mrs. Kill. Hindsight, Fear, Intuition, and Gossip are all things that she could potentially generate for me. So, I mean, one option that I have is I just keep this all until the end of the day and try my luck. I am going to read one text, and that's going to be the one... So I was thinking about using crafting to get a Savage Hymn, but why would I do that when I have a better opportunity by just reading a book? So Unhatched Hymns, hymns attributed to St. Lucia the Eyeless, patron of glassworkers, and name of the hour called Meniscate. And that is in Sabazine. It's been a while since I've had to use that. I've already mastered this, but I could reread it and perhaps recall a memory. Okay, so clearly I'm working towards Inks of Power, so that's, you know, that's sort of taken care of. Now, it would be nice to work towards Rites of the Root again, but of course I have quite a bit. I have quite a bit working against me. So let's maybe start by getting the Sun's weakness, or weaknesses. Because even if it doesn't turn out, I get to keep that. So the only thing I can really hope for from Mrs. Kill would be the impulse. So let me just take a minute here and think. If I want Rites of the Root, so let's say Impulse, Earth Sign, Sun's Weakness, Name Day Riddle, Scent, and an Old Moment. Okay. It's a tough one, but I think we can manage this. So let's say... Let's say I'm going to set aside 5 elements of the soul to make the Rites of the Roots work. Yeah, the tricky part here is just thinking about how I'm going to get the old moment. Well, I guess I don't need the old moment in the end. I could get... Well, okay, wait a minute. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Okay, yeah, so it's old moment or Hive's Lament. So technically I only need 4. But it would be good to know how to build either one of these. And I have made an old moment before. I can just never remember... I can never remember which one. Was it maybe Coil and Chasm? Well, I'll be able to take a... Well, okay. I might be able to take a look, but it would be better if I could come up with a slightly better game plan. So let's run with the assumption here that Old Moment is scale. That seems like a pretty safe bet. Yeah, okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Okay, not clear that I can get that from Hill and Hollow. And some of the descriptions I've seen of Hill and Hollow makes me think that probably I shouldn't bank on that. Maybe a little more surprised that I can't get that through Pentiments and Precursors, but... okay. And then everything else is lower. So yeah, if I'm gonna go for it, it's actually it's difficult, but I will adjust accordingly. So really what this comes down to is just getting enough memories to build the Name Day Riddle and possibly the Old Moment. And I can't do a lot about that until the time comes. So my next best option, I want to set aside the memories that I need. So an impulse will need something for the Name Day Riddle, but it really could be anything. One for the scent, and then maybe we'll use the Tryst for the Old Moment. Okay, so that's 4 spoken for. Okay, 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, so all my elements of the soul are basically accounted for today. Although I am still going to make money. There's not much work on offer in Brandkrug, but I can find 6p worth of odd jobs. And of course, all of this is prior to, yeah, so perfect example here. Fog might sort of throw things up in the air. Mrs. Kill stands ready to help. You always cheer me up, she says morosely. Okay, so let's have a chat. Mrs. Kill has seen more of the world than she usually lets on. Conversations with her yield the occasional surprise. So this is this is pretty easy in terms of getting the Name Day Riddle. I just need to add an element of the soul. It'll take any of these, but I think Shapt is probably the most appropriate here. Conceive a mothy riddle. Edict's liminal with scholar level moth plus a memory creates Name Day Riddle. I've carried a memory like a flambeau safe through the mazes of night. I suppose I should have used the storm for that actually, but I didn't have a use for the moon, so... Okay, there's the impulse for transformations and liberations. So the fact that I said that I'm sort of locked into all of my elements of the soul, part of that was just deciding whether or not I wanted to approach any of the books here. And given the fact that I'm going to be working on trying to level a few of these things up, that would not be a good use of my elements of the soul. This may still kind of blow up in my face in the sense that I don't get the memories that I need, but I think it's worth taking the shot. Okay, so I've got technically 3 of the required elements here. And unhatched hymns. Hymns attributed to St. Lucia the Eyeless, patron of glassworkers and name of the hour called Meniscate. The hymns venerate every sanctioned hour, celebrating them as the sun undivided, but also suggesting that each hour may become the next, madrigad to watchman, watchman to wolf, and so on. The hymn of the phases celebrates the Meniscate from whom we do not turn, for the truth which is beauty, the beauty which is truth, and the perfect balance between the two. The hymn of the reflections most puzzlingly celebrates the Meniscate as the sister of Janus, mother of shadow, whose visage wondrous in emptiness can reveal all truths. Okay, now this is intended to be an input to something. Although I don't fancy my chances here, to be completely honest. Yeah, that's not going to do it. But the upright piano would still do the trick. Oh, that's right, because drums and dances is a special one. Shoot. I really didn't think this one through. Okay. Well, let's see if I can get a couple of hints from the... If we have the Savage Hymn here, drums and dances with Prentice level nectar creates a Savage Hymn, or for a Scholar level recipe, use an instrument to resolve it into a buzzing and more ancient song. So actually, this isn't a statement on needing the Savage Hymn, this is a statement on needing sufficient nectar. It was that easy, huh? All right, well, I'm not going to complain about that. This does put me behind on Elements of the Soul, but I can buy my way back. I'm going to leave it to Mrs. Kill to maybe try and generate a... I really didn't need to use the Tryst there. Now I have to bring back the health. Well, it doesn't have to be the health, but now I definitely need to bring something back. That was not smart on my part. Or I can try... Yeah, no, we don't have another rose. Okay, as I used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. I'll bring back the Tryst right here. Tuppence will buy me a hearty meal in a quiet place where I can rest and gather my thoughts. Okay. So, just because I made a small mistake here, I want to try and take stock in terms of what I'm going to have by the end of this. Because, I mean, the Hive's Lament may not work as well. So we'll have the Hive's Lament, we'll have the Name Day Riddle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 that I need. So then the Scent and the Impulse work. So 2... And in fact, I can get the Scent right away. Investigate this object. So yeah, this basically just comes down to getting an impulse either from Mrs. Kill or from the books. So in order to level up Rights the Roots, I need 1 element of the soul, and then to level up Inks of Power, I need 3, which I already have. So I actually have a spare... it turns out I have a spare element of the soul by the end of the day. I'm going to leave that aside for the simple reason that I don't want to override any of the memories that I currently have. Gossips, welcome. There it is and can be no tizzer. Mrs. Kill, as every local gossip knows, came from France to marry Mr. Kill, but the scant trace of the continent in her accent now. So we're actually in good shape. I don't know if I want to try and generate another Hive's Lament tonight, but I can at least get myself set up with the sun's weaknesses, I don't think the Savage Hymn sticks around. Actually, nor would I need it. But yeah, we can at least get the Newman and the Earth Sign before the end of the day. Is this a way to the wood? But perhaps the wood is not a suitable place for a librarian. Okay. Satisfaction doesn't help me in this case. I think that's just pure grail. Well, not pure grail, but yeah, it doesn't help me in this one. Would have helped me with Desires and Dissolutions, but that's in the past. Okay, we're building Hive's Lament. I'm just trying to remember. Okay, yeah, we're good. Ah! That's so frustrating. I don't think I have what it takes to be able to recover that. I'll try. So I need an impulse. Good lord. Okay. Because all that I really lose in the grand scheme of things is a tuppence or two. So let's try and get an impulse back. I suppose in a pinch I could also use the scent. Actually, that sounds like a good idea because I want that as early as I can. Yeah, I'm really short on options here. Okay, better now. So, tuppence will buy me a hearty meal in a quiet place where I can rest and gather my thoughts. Get 3 pence here. It is winter and the storms have tightened the seas. I am sitting before the fire in the sweet bones with a beef and potato pasty in one hand and a hot ale posset in the other. Okay, there's the gossip. There's going to be a tight window to get the things that I need. We'll say that using up the preliminary meter is the top priority for today, so I'll generate. I want to reserve two. Actually, let's just set those aside now. So these are the two that I'm reserving no matter what. The solace sadly doesn't help me here. I was pretty sure I picked Hive's Lament. I'm just trying to think if there's another way I can do this, but I don't think I can. Okay, now I've got more books than I really know what to do with right now. I'm going to set this one aside here just because I don't have any other options. Okay. The green jasper tablet, supposedly copied from a tablet of green jasper which serves as the covenant stone of the monastery of the Fifth Cup, the token which gives that library shelter beneath the watchman's tree. Humankind hid itself from the glory's light in the roots of the watchman's tree, but for every chink we stuffed with cloth and hair we opened another, and the light crept in, until we looked below into nowhere, and the eye of the mare in the tree winked red. The tablet expounds the dangers of inviting in the nowhere hour called the mare in the tree, and also of forbidding her entry, since she can never entirely be denied. Along the way, it reveals the secret of the sacrament malachite, in which the merry mare merrily spits, brewed with the rights of the roots from the pneuma pear in the presence of sufficient nectar aspect. So there's the impulse that I needed, although I do also need my health to make this work. That's going to take 0.7 seconds. Okay, we've got a very narrow fighting chance. But it's gonna be an adventure. But it's an adventure that we will take in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see whether or not I can turn this into 2 lessons learned in the next one. Take care.